Hello everyone, good day. This is Ivy Grace B. Diaz, and together with my group mates, we will tackle about the Manubo tribe. So, sit back and relax.
Manubo means person or people. It may also have been originally Mansuba from man and Suba or river, hence meaning river people. A third derivation is from Banubo, the name of a creek that presently flows to Pulangi River about 2 kilometers below Cotabato City. A fourth is from man, meaning first, aboriginal, and tuvo, meaning grow or growth. Manubo is the Hispanized form. The upland Manubo practice swathern or slush and bird farming, whereas those inhabiting the valleys practice wet rice farming. Rice culture is so central to the Manubo way of life that there are more than 60 different names for rice varieties, and all agricultural rituals center around it. In the late 1950s, however, many Manubo groups shifted to corn culture because of the gradual disappearance of Sweden sites. The incursion of settlers from Luzon and the Visayas and big logging companies have further limited the mobility of Manubo farmers in shifting cultivation sites and caused a competition for land. The Manubo have since shifted to the agricultural system of using only a single plot of land repetitively. Besides corn grit, other supplementary foods are sweet potato and cassava. In times of famine, emergency foods are unripe bananas and wild yam. Manubo uses bamboo tube as the traditional container for cooking dishes, which was recorded by Magellan's chronicler Pagafetta in 1525. He remarked that rice cooked in bamboo lasts longer than cooked in clay pots. Another common feature of Manubo cuisine is that before cooking, the main ingredients such as shrimp, fowl, or pork are minced very finely and mixed with plant food that grows abundantly in their natural surroundings. This cooking method ensures that protein sources, which are harder to come by, are distributed evenly among the family members. The different Manubo languages belong to the Philippine subfamily of the superfamily of languages called Austro-Polynesian or Malo-Polynesian in the old literature. The Austroasiatic languages, also known as Mon-Khmer, are a large language family in mainland Southeast Asia and South Asia. These languages are scattered throughout parts of Thailand, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and southern China, and are majority languages of Vietnam and Cambodia. There are around 170 million speakers of Austroasiatic languages. The ethnologue lists 15 languages in the Manubo Micro Group according to Lewis 2009. All of these are spoken in the Philippines, mostly around Mindanao, but with one outliner, Cagayanin, in the northern reaches of the Sulu Sea. The Manubo languages, according to Blast 1991, are a subgroup of a Greater Central Philippine or GCPH. Manobo languages use grammatical person as the main criterion for ordering short personal pronouns relative to each other. Only Cotabato Manobo uses a different criterion or semantic rules. Generally, the verb in Manobo and other Philippine languages is clause initial, with both pronouns immediately following it. Although in the presence of the Western languages, the Manobo tribes in a study give importance to the preservation of their language because of the following reasons. Number 1, so that nobody can trick or backstab them. Number 2, so that their tribe will be remembered or not forgotten. 3, because they can use it when they go to another barangay and be exempted. 4, because it is their tribe, the tribe of their forefathers. And lastly, number 5, so that their children can be eligible for the scholarship for IPs or indigenous people groups.
Presenting to you the culture and values of the Manobo Group. The Manobo are any of several closely related peoples inhabiting central Mindanao, Philippines. Manobo or Manyubo means people or person who are mostly living in mountains and riverside. The brown color here is where the Manobo inhabits, such as Agusan, Bukidnon, Cotabato, Davao, Misamis Oriental, and Surigao del Sur. One of their most common ways of life is that the floral agriculture, but unfortunately, the fruits are very primitive. And then, one of their traditional culture is their wedding rituals. In Manobo tribe, marriage is said to be traditionally imposed by parental arrangement. The groom's family will decide if the bride is acceptable. That is different to the common wedding ceremonies here in the Philippines. Manobo tribes also believes they revolve around the concept of many unseen spirits interfering in the lives of humans. They believe that these spirits can intrude on human activities to accomplish their desires. The spirits are also believed to have human characteristics. Manobo are also known for their intricate casting, the old-fashioned fine weaponry and jewelry that they believe possess souls, making it harder for the maker to part with them. Agriculturally, they practice swidin, /inborn farming of planting and harvesting rice, root crops, and vegetables for consumption. The Manobo are both strong in mind and spirit. Their cultural identity is firmly rooted in the land and its nature. It is maintained through its storytelling, language, family, and the passing on of traditional skills and arts. Even though the hardships of life, they keep fighting for life in order to live peacefully.
Before the Spanish colonial period, the Manobo wore bark clothes to cover themselves. Today, they wear Western clothes. The skirt and blouse are dress for women, trousers and sport shirts for the men. The heavily embroidered traditional Manobo garments are now worn only for special occasions. This style of garment varies with each Manobo subgroup. The Agusanon Ompak or the Elianon Kumbala, the jacket for both men and women, is closed so it is pulled over the head. Among the Tiguahanan, the women wear pakabo, a blouse with flared sleeves. The men wear the binukad, the typical Manobo jacket. It is embroidered on the all seams, that is, the cuffs, shoulders, sides, neckline, and hemline at the waist level. Typical decorative colors are red, yellow, white, and blue. Among the Agusanon Manobo, persons in authority wear brighter colors than slaves and commoners. Pagtatani o baka weaving is the work of women, then with the backstrap loom. Agasanon manobo embroidery is called siyam. Especially embroidered designs are called samoy. Binain, decorative patterns are geometric such as diamonds, rectangles, squares, and triangles, horizontal lines and zigzags, and representational figures such as dancing men, stars, leaves, and crocodiles. Patchwork consists of red, white, and black cloth. Embroidery colors are red, white, black, yellow, blue, and green. Based on the type of decorative used, Western Bukidnon women's blouses are called linibian, zigzag, kinulingtan, streak patchwork, tinitizan, geometric patchwork patterns. For most groups, the men's jacket is short, moderately closing-fitting square cut and long-sleeved. Besides being embroidered, the seam of the jacket are covered with cotton tufts of red, yellow, and dark blue. A strip of cloth of a different color from the jacket is sewn between the sleeves and the body of the jacket. Most Manobo men have two kinds of sawa or sawal or trousers, one for working and another for festive occasions. Both types reach to just below the knees, and working trousers are close-fitting and plain. The Tiguanan call this type of trousers bandera, while the festive trousers are square-cut, baggy, and embroidered in the typical colors and designs on the sides of cuffs. The men carry their little kid in kumoyot, a square baka knapsack, usually decorated only by a fringe of multicolored yarn that is attached around the seam. It is worn with the arms passing under two strings attached to both sides. If elaborately decorated, it is surrounded by tassels and covered with beads and embroidery. The chief of the Bagani had a special attire, which was predominantly red. The red jacket and trousers were embroidered in the same colors and designs as the ordinary man's attire. His red headkerchief was embroidered with white, blue, and yellow cotton yarn at the corners. The woman's blouse is lavishly adorned as the man's jacket. The color of the cuffs matches that of the body. Embroidery is profuse on the front of the blouse. Bands of embroidery is alternating colors cover the seams and the oval-shaped neckline. No embroidery is done on the hemline. There are two kinds of skirts, the saya and the malong. The saya is wide and knee length. Its color is identical to that of the blouse. It is adorned by patchwork or embroidered with geometric patterns or realistic figures. The malong was originally of abaka, but is all of cotton cloth. It is shaped like a long barrel and is folded over so that the one half is inside the other. It is gathered at the left side of tucked in at the waist. Among the Agusan and Manobo, it is almost always red with the inwoven horizontal designs such as black bands and alternating bands of red and black, with white stripes in between. Some Manobo tribes never wear the malong, but use it for many other purposes, as a blanket, a crib, mosquito bar, carrying bag, and so forth. The Tiguahanan also the ampit, a barrel skirt shorter than the malong, with an inwoven checkered design. Traditional hairdo for both sexes is a bun and bangs, cut straight on the forehead from one side to the other. The woman wears her bun on the crown of her head, whereas the man's bun is lower, halfway between the top of his head or his neck. The woman's bun is fastened in place by a bamboo comb, which is seized decorations or inlaid mother of pearl beads of circles, squares, and triangles. Tiguahanan women sometimes tie their bangs back and wear their lambong strings of beads in place of their bangs. The tubao, the common turban, is knotted in front by men and knotted at the back by the women. It comes in the combination of colors, the favorite being white, black, red, green, and yellow. Tiguahanan women have the kumakulkol, a headdress of club muses. During the social or religious gatherings, the Western Bukidnon women wear the pilumpando, which fans out from the head like a giant radial comb. The baklaw, armbands, and tykes tikos, leg bands, and braided nito, a 1.5 cm wide and worn tightly around the forearms and just below the knees. Sometimes these are covered with beads. Besides being ornamental, they are believed to strengthen the major limb muscles. The pugnot, tight-fitting wristbands, 50 made of braided glossy black agsan vines and believed to work as a charm, against the scorpion bites. Hanging from each ear of the women is wooden desk with silver, gold, and beads in brass wire. Red cotton yarn passes through the hole of the ear desk and the hole of the ear loop, with a tuft of the cotton yarn left over the ear hole. Balungkag are necklace made of multicolored small seeds beads, small shells, crocodile teeth, coins, or multicolored glass beads strung around to make the geometric patterns. The sinakit is a necklace of bead strings that fits snugly around the neck. The man's necklace is a sinakit. The women's wear armlets so numerous that they can fill up the whole forearm. Highly prized armlets are those made of sagay-sagay, black coral, because these are believed to contract around the wearer's arms to warn the impending danger. Another armlet is made of taklubo, seashell, which is used for its whirl. Whose cross-section is triangular. About 5 of the black coral and white taklubo armlets are placed alternately and worn all at once, usually on the left arm. Teeth filling, no longer practiced now, was done for both boys and girls when they reached puberty. 14 front teeth were filled down to the gums, and final effect was that the upper teeth appeared to jut out over the lower teeth. The teeth were then blackened with juice of the mau plant. Tattooing, a practice that is now fading, is done on ornamental purposes. The men wore tattoos on their chest, upper arms, forearms, and fingers. The women wore theirs in the same parts of the body, but the most elaborate tattoos were done on their calves. The Manobo women wear around their waistline and on their forearms. Tattoo designs are the same as those embroidered on their clothes, with the additional of the binuaha, crocodile figure, ginibang, iguana, binoyo betel leaf, and the other leaf designs and stars. The Western Bukidnon Manobo used any design that catches their fancy. For example, name, bird, or human figure. The sayap is a bamboo hut made of batket bamboo cut into thin strips and woven. It has 2 layers between which are either erikik grass or anaha leaves to make the hut waterproof. Woven slip rattan strips form an inner layer which snugly fits the head. To this is added a brim which extends and is fitted to the underside of the brim of the hut. The Manobo have numerous types of baskets made of either wickerwork or plated rattan, fish baskets, rice baskets, storage baskets, betel nuts baskets, and baskets. The limbutong sleeves are more of a baka fiber dyed with several colors of woven and patterns that resemble the Manobo embroidery designs. The armor consists of 3 layers, between which is cotton stuffing. The shield is made of wooden called lipiga. The center is hollowed out for the hand grip. Tufts of horsehair are stuck through a row of holes on the outer edges. Each tuft is clamped in place by a pair of polished bintong bamboo.
Let's proceed to Manobo religion. The religious beliefs of the Manobo revolve around the concept of many unseen spirits interfering in the lives of humans. They believe that these spirits can intrude on human activities to accomplish their desires. The spirits are also believed to have human characteristics. They are both good and evil in nature and can be evoked to both anger and pleasure. While the religious practices of the Manobo vary slightly, there seems to be at least one common thread linking them together. Each culture believes in one great spirit. This great spirit is usually viewed as the creator figure. Manobo clothes. Manobo clothing related terms in the Dulangan. And here's the Manobo language of their clothes. Sinulog is the clothes women wear on special occasions. Kigal is shirt or blouse. Palida or lubing is skirt. Siluil is pants. Simpik is short pants. Baeg, loin cloth, and lapin kawal or lapin simpik is underwear. The sample pants I saw in the Lisan Manobo are simple black slacks. The Manobo girls' traditional pants are normally made of the same cloth, and therefore have the same pattern and color as the man's upper garment. The photos on the wall of the display room supported the claim. Strictly speaking, lubing refers to the cloth that manubo skirts are commonly made of, and the cloth is sometimes used for other purposes, such as a towel or as a baby carriage. Lumad religion. Lumad are non-Muslim or non-Christian. Instead, they believe in spirits and gods. There is a god for land, water, and for the harvest, to name a few. Lumads believe that the mountain is sacred. They also believe that death and illness or bad fate are God's way of showing anger. The offering of live animals such as pigs and chicken are common during tribal ceremonies for them to have a good harvest, health and protection, and thanksgiving. Lumad clothes. Traditional clothing was commonly made from fabrics of woven abaca or musa textiles, decorated with elaborate and intricate designs. Lumad groups who are well-known weavers are the Tibuli, Mandaya, Bagubo, Bilaan, and Kulaman. The Bagubo are known for their plange or pilangi work, setting the design through knotting and binding of cloth before dyeing. The Kulaman for thritik, which involves sewing patterns with wax thread. The Mandaya and Tibuli for ikat or resist dye, the latter of tricolor clothes. Let's proceed to Korea religion. Most are Christians and about 80% are Roman Catholics, and the rest are Protestants. Some people belonging to the Suludnon tribe are animists.
Sungkot Takamanga is a celebration of Manubo culture. It is a tradition of nomads in preparation of the farm activities and farm implements. Live chicken and pigs are sacrificed. Their blood spread on the farm tool and asking Mambabaya for the safety and for the abundant harvest through the rituals. A series of activities highlighted by the street dancing, Paratuan rituals, installation of new ethnic leaders, and Patungan the Kasal rituals, a tribal wedding ceremony. Manubo marriage is traditionally imposed by parental agreement, which begins when each of two families choose a spokesperson, preferably a dato or bai. The panginsa or asking begins with the girl's representative offering battle cho, which the boy politely refuses until the negotiation of kagun begins. The brighted wealth could be paid with money, land, animals, and even jewelry. The Manubo perform several kinds of rituals, ranging from the simplest and most private to the most elaborate feast lasting several days of singing and dancing. Rituals are meant to propitiate either the Diwata or the Busao. Animal sacrifice is the central point of most rituals because blood is the most important offering to the spirit. The Kalikaon is a lavish feast lasting from 3 to 9 days in which the epic walking is ceremonially enacted. It is held for various reasons. To fulfill a person's panaad in return for a request made to a diwata, to plead or to express gratitude for bountiful harvest or catch, or to heal a sick person. The Manubo are probably the most numerous of the ethnic groups of the Philippines in terms of the relationship and names of the various groups that belongs to this family of languages. The total national population, including the subgroups, is 749,042 estimated in 1994, occupying 4 areas from Sarangani Island into the Mindanao mainland in the provinces of Quezon del Sur, Davao provinces, Bukidnon, and North and South Cotabato. The Agusan Manubo people inhabit the large areas of the Agusan River Valley and the Diwata mountain range, which is in the northeast of the Mindanao.
The Manobos in the Agusan Marsh live in floating houses. The houses, which are quite sturdy, are built on hundreds of pieces of bamboo and rise and fall together with the level of the marsh. And depending on the current, the houses are also moved to different locations. Diwata means nymph or fairy goddess, a throwback to the animist past when Filipinos believed Diwata guarded mountains, rivers, and streams. Mount Diwata, the Golden Mountain, is one of the largest sources of gold in the Philippines and possibly the world.
Originally, the Agusan Manubos, aka Natibo, literally means native, inhabited the territory drained by the Agusan River. The Manubo people are mostly concentrated in the southwestern part of the province of Bukidnon. Their territory is marked by the Kitanglad and Kalatungan mountain ranges.
Mount Kitanglad is an inactive volcano located in the Kitanglad mountain range in Bukidnon province on Mindanao Island. It is the fourth highest mountain in the Philippines. Kalatungan mountain range is a mountain range in the central portion of the province of Bukidnon. It is one of the few areas in the province covered with old growth or mossy forests.
Most Cotabato Manubo live in the western part of Sultan Kudarat province, but their territory extends to some part of Maguindanao in the north and south Cotabato and Sarangani in the south. Some organizations classify the Cotabato Manubos into two subgroups, those who dwell in the mountains and those who left and settled near the sea. Tagabawa is a Manubo language of Davao City and Mount Apo in Mindanao. Tagabawa is spoken in Cotabato and Davao del Sur provinces and on the slope of Mount Apo west of Mindanao City.
Mount Apo is a protected area of about across the regions of Mindanao and Davao that is inhabited by several indigenous Lumid peoples, mainly Manobos, Bagobos, and Klata. The mountain is considered sacred and is an important ancestral burial ground.